In the heart of a bustling city, where dreams often collide with harsh realities, we find Sarah Thompson, a woman whose life has become a relentless struggle against the tide of misfortune. The clock on her nightstand blinks 3:17 a.m. as she jolts awake, her heart racing. Another sleepless night. Sarah's eyes drift to the small bed across the room, where her 8-year-old daughter, Lily, sleeps peacefully. A bittersweet smile crosses Sarah's face. Lily is her world, her reason for pushing through each grueling day. But lately, that world has been crumbling around them. As the first light of dawn creeps through the threadbare curtains, Sarah drags herself out of bed. She catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror. Tired eyes, disheveled hair, and a face that looks older than her 32 years. "Come on, Sarah," she whispers to herself. "You can do this, for Lily." The morning routine is a chaotic dance of burnt toast, mismatched socks, and a last-minute search for Lily's homework. As they rush out the door of their tiny apartment, Sarah's phone buzzes. It's a text from her boss. "Don't bother coming in today, or tomorrow, or ever again." Her heart sinks. Another job lost. "Mommy, are you okay?" Lily's concerned voice cuts through Sarah's panic. Sarah forces a smile. "Of course, sweetie. Everything's fine. Let's get you to school." As they walk, Sarah's mind races. How will she pay rent? Put food on the table? Keep Lily in her school? The weight of single motherhood has never felt heavier. After dropping Lily off, Sarah wanders aimlessly, her feet carrying her to a nearby park. She collapses onto a bench, fighting back tears. An elderly woman sitting nearby gives her a sympathetic look. "Rough day, dear?" the woman asks gently. Sarah nods, unable to speak. The old woman reaches into her bag and pulls out an ancient-looking radio. "Here," she says, pressing it into Sarah's hands. "This always brought me comfort in hard times. Maybe it'll do the same for you." Before Sarah can protest, the woman is gone, leaving her alone with the peculiar device. It's a relic from another era, all polished wood and brass dials. Sarah turns it over in her hands, puzzled. Why would an old radio bring comfort? With a sigh, she tucks it into her bag and heads home. The day drags on, filled with unanswered job applications and mounting bills. As night falls, Sarah finds herself alone in the kitchen, Lily fast asleep. Her eyes fall on the radio. "What the hell?" she mutters, plugging it in. "Maybe some music will help." She fiddles with the dials, static filling the air. Suddenly, a voice crackles through the speaker, a voice that sends chills down her spine. It's her voice, but older, wiser. "Sarah? Sarah, can you hear me? It's you, from 15 years in the future." Sarah's coffee mug slips from her hand, shattering on the floor. "What? This can't be real." "Listen carefully," the voice continues urgently. "I don't have much time. Your life is about to change, but you must follow my instructions exactly. Everything depends on it." Sarah's mind reels. Is this some kind of elaborate prank? A hallucination brought on by stress? But as her future self begins to reveal details about her life, things no one else could possibly know, a spark of hope ignites in her chest. "Tomorrow morning," future Sarah says, "you'll receive a call about a job interview. Take it, and when you're there, look for a man named Jack Morrison. He's the key to turning everything around." The radio crackles and goes silent, leaving Sarah in stunned disbelief. She stares at the device, 1,000 questions swirling in her mind. Can she really change her fate? And if so, at what cost? As she cleans up the broken mug, Sarah can't shake the feeling that she's standing on the precipice of something monumental. Little does she know, the old radio isn't just a window to the future. It's a door that once opened can never truly be closed. The next morning, Sarah's phone rings precisely as predicted. Her hand trembles as she answers, the voice of her future self echoing in her mind. The woman on the other end invites her for an interview that afternoon at a prestigious marketing firm. As Sarah hangs up, a mix of excitement and trepidation washes over her. She looks at Lily, happily munching on cereal, blissfully unaware of the strange turn their lives have taken. "Hey, sweetie," Sarah says, her voice quivering slightly. "How would you like to spend the afternoon with Mrs. Jenkins next door? Mommy has an appointment." Lily's eyes light up. "Can I bring Mr. Snuggles?" she asks, hugging her worn teddy bear. Sarah nods, fighting back tears. "Of course you can, baby. Mr. Snuggles wouldn't miss it for the world." As she helps Lily get ready for school, Sarah can't help but wonder, if she can truly change her future, What else might change along with it? And is she ready for whatever consequences may come? The day passes in a blur of anticipation and nerves. Before she knows it, Sarah finds herself standing in front of a gleaming office building, her heart pounding. She takes a deep breath, straightens her secondhand blazer, and steps inside. The receptionist guides her to a waiting area where several other candidates sit, looking polished and confident. Sarah fidgets with her resume, feeling out of place. That's when she notices him, a man in his late 30s with kind eyes and a reassuring smile. Their gazes meet, and he extends his hand. "Jack Morrison," he says warmly. "Looks like we're both here for the big interview, huh?" Sarah's breath catches in her throat. This is the man her future self mentioned. As she shakes his hand, she can't help but feel that her entire world has shifted on its axis. Little does Sarah know, this encounter is just the beginning. The old radio in her apartment hums softly, its dials moving ever so slightly of their own accord. Somewhere in the future, another Sarah watches anxiously, hoping against hope that her past self will make the right choices that come with a price neither of them fully understands. As the afternoon sun casts long shadows across the city, the stage is set for a journey that will challenge everything Sarah thought she knew about fate, free will, and the delicate balance of time itself. As weeks pass, Sarah's life transforms in ways she never thought possible. The job interview, guided by future Sarah's insights, lands her a position that not only pays well but also ignites a passion she didn't know she had. Jack Morrison, now her colleague, becomes a steady presence in her life, offering friendship and support that fills a void she's carried for years. One evening, as Sarah tucks Lily into bed, her daughter's eyes sparkle with a joy she hasn't seen in months. "Mommy, are we rich now?" Lily asks innocently. Sarah chuckles, smoothing Lily's hair. "Not rich, sweetheart, but we're doing better. Much better." As Lily drifts off to sleep, Sarah retreats to the kitchen, drawn to the old radio that started it all. She turns the dials, and soon, future Sarah's voice crackles through. "You're doing great," future Sarah says, pride evident in her tone. "But remember, every choice has consequences. Be careful." Sarah frowns. "What do you mean, consequences? Everything's improving." Future Sarah's response is cut short by static, leaving Sarah with an uneasy feeling in the pit of her stomach. The next day at work, Jack invites Sarah to lunch. As they sit in a quaint cafe, Sarah finds herself opening up about her struggles as a single mother. Jack listens intently, his eyes full of understanding. "You're incredible, Sarah," he says softly. "The way you've persevered, it's admirable." Sarah blushes, a warmth spreading through her chest. But as Jack reaches for her hand, a sharp pain lances through her head. For a split second, she sees a flash of something. A future? A warning? It's gone before she can grasp it. That night, as Sarah prepares dinner, Lily calls out from the living room. "Mommy, the radio's making weird noises." Sarah rushes in to find the old radio buzzing and crackling, its dials spinning wildly. As she reaches to unplug it, future Sarah's voice cuts through the chaos. "Sarah, listen carefully. There's something you need to know about Jay." The radio falls silent, leaving Sarah shaken. What was future Sarah trying to tell her about Jack? As days turn into weeks, Sarah's success at work continues to grow. She's assigned to lead a major project, working closely with Jack. Their late nights at the office spark rumors among coworkers, but Sarah brushes them off. Yet, she can't deny the growing attraction between them. One evening, as they celebrate a successful presentation, Jack leans in close. "Sarah, I think I'm falling for you." Sarah's heart races, torn between excitement and an inexplicable sense of dread. Before she can respond, her phone buzzes with a text from Mrs. Jenkins. "Lily's running a high fever. Come home now." Rushing home, Sarah finds Lily burning up, mumbling incoherently about the radio and bad things coming. As she tends to her daughter, Sarah can't shake the feeling that somehow her actions are causing this. The next morning, with Lily feeling better, Sarah decides to confront future Sarah. She turns on the radio, demanding answers. "You said changing my destiny would come at a steep price," Sarah says, her voice trembling. "What's happening? Is Lily in danger because of me?" Future Sarah's voice is heavy with regret. "It's complicated. The future isn't just changing for you, Sarah. It's changing for everyone around you. There are ripples, consequences we couldn't foresee." "Then tell me what to do," Sarah pleads. How do I protect Lily? I don't know anymore, future Sarah admits. The future is shifting too fast. I can't see clearly. But Sarah, whatever you do, be careful around Jay. Static cuts off the transmission, leaving Sarah more confused and frightened than ever. At work, Sarah tries to maintain normalcy, but her mind is elsewhere. Jack notices her distraction. Sarah, is everything okay? He asks, genuine concern in his eyes. She wants to confide in him, to share the impossible burden she's carrying. But future Sarah's warning echoes in her mind. Instead, she forces a smile. Just worried about Lily, she's been under the weather. Jack's face softens. Why don't I come over tonight? I could cook dinner for you both, give you a break. Sarah hesitates, then nods. Maybe some normalcy is exactly what they need. That evening, as Jack charms Lily with silly jokes and a delicious meal, Sarah feels a sense of peace she hasn't known in years. This is what a family should feel like, she thinks. But as she clears the dishes, she notices Lily staring at the old radio, her expression unreadable. Mommy, Lily whispers, the radio says Jack isn't who we think he is. Sarah freezes, her blood running cold. What do you mean, sweetie? The radio talks to you too? Lily nods solemnly. It says we're in danger, that we need to be careful. Before Sarah can process this shocking revelation, Jack calls from the living room. Hey, who wants to watch a movie? Sarah plasters on a smile, her mind racing. What is she missing? Who is Jack Morrison really? And how is Lily connected to all of this? As the three of them settle on the couch, Sarah can't help but feel she's sitting next to both her greatest hope and her greatest threat. The old radio sits silent in the corner, its presence a constant reminder of the choice she made, a choice that seems to be unraveling the very fabric of her reality. Weeks pass, and Sarah finds herself walking a tightrope between her growing feelings for Jack and her increasing suspicion. She throws herself into her work, excelling beyond her wildest dreams. But with each success, she notices subtle changes in the world around her. News reports speak of unexplained phenomena, time seeming to skip or slow in certain areas of the city. People report déjà vu on a massive scale. And through it all, Lily's connection to the radio grows stronger. One night, Sarah overhears Lily having a hushed conversation with the device. But I don't want to, Lily whispers. It's not fair. When Sarah enters the room, Lily quickly pretends to be asleep. The radio sits innocently on the nightstand, but Sarah swears she sees one of its dials move slightly on its own. At work, Jack suggests they take their relationship to the next level. I've never felt this way about anyone, he confesses. You and Lily, you could be my family. Sarah's heart soars, but a nagging doubt persists. That night, she confronts future Sarah through the radio. Tell me the truth about Jack, she demands. What are you hiding? Future Sarah's voice comes through, tinged with static and what sounds like fear. Sarah, listen carefully. Jack is... Suddenly, the transmission cuts out, replaced by a cacophony of voices, past, present, and future versions of Sarah, all talking over each other. Don't trust. You have to. Lily is the key. It's not about Jack. It's about... The radio explodes in a shower of sparks, leaving Sarah in stunned silence. As the smoke clears, she notices something etched into the wood where the radio once stood. Paradox. The next day, Sarah arrives at work to find the office in chaos. Files are missing, computers are malfunctioning, and no one seems to remember the major project they've been working on for months. Except for Jack. Sarah, he says urgently, pulling her aside. Something's wrong. I think we've done something to time itself. His words confirm her worst fears, but before she can respond, an alarm blares throughout the building. Outside, the sky turns an ominous shade of red. As panic erupts around them, Sarah's phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. It's time. Bring Jack. Save Lily. The park where it all began. Now! Sarah grabs Jack's hand, her heart pounding. We need to go. Now! Lily's in danger. As they race through the chaotic streets, time itself seems to be unraveling. Buildings flicker in and out of existence. People move in reverse. And through it all, Sarah can't shake the feeling that every step is bringing them closer to a truth that will change everything. They reach the park, finding Lily standing next to the bench where Sarah first received the radio. But Lily isn't alone. Next to her stands an older woman, a woman Sarah recognizes with a jolt of shock. It's herself, future Sarah, in the flesh. As they approach, Future Sarah's eyes lock onto Jack, filled with a mixture of love, pain, and something Sarah can't quite decipher. "It's time you knew the truth," Future Sarah says, her voice heavy with the weight of years. About Jack, about Lily, about the price of changing destiny. Sarah feels Jack's hand tighten around hers as the world seems to hold its breath. Whatever comes next, she realizes, will redefine everything she thought she knew about love, sacrifice, and the delicate threads that weave together the tapestry of time. The park seems frozen in time, an island of calm in a sea of chaos. Sarah's mind reels as she looks between her future self, Lily, and Jack. The air crackles with tension and unspoken truths. Future Sarah steps forward, her eyes filled with a mixture of sorrow and determination. "Sarah, Jack, there's no easy way to say this. Jack isn't just a random person I told you to meet. She pauses, taking a deep breath. "He's Lily's father." The words hit Sarah like a physical blow. "What? That's impossible. I never." "Not in this timeline," Future Sarah interrupts. "But in the original one, the one I came from, you and Jack met years ago. You fell in love, had Lily, and then," her voice breaks, "we lost him." Jack stumbles backward, his face pale. "I don't understand. I don't remember any of this." Future Sarah nods grimly. "Of course you don't. When I used the radio to change the past, I created a paradox. I thought I could save you, Jack, bring you back into our lives. But the universe, it has ways of balancing itself." Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembles. In the distance, buildings begin to fade in and out of existence. The sky flashes between day and night in rapid succession. "What's happening?" Sarah cries out, clutching Lily close. "The paradox is collapsing," Future Sarah explains urgently. "By bringing Jack back into our lives in this new timeline, we've created a temporal loop that's tearing reality apart. The universe is trying to correct itself, to erase the impossibility we've created." Jack steps forward, his eyes wide with realization. "That's why I felt drawn to you from the moment we met. Some part of me remembered us." Sarah's mind races, trying to process everything. "But why didn't you just tell me all this from the beginning?" she demands of her future self. Future Sarah's expression is pained. "Because knowledge of the future changes the future. I thought I could guide you subtly, let you and Jack fall in love naturally. I never imagined it would spiral out of control like this." A deafening crack splits the air. Above them, the sky begins to fracture like breaking glass. "We're running out of time," Future Sarah says urgently. "There's only one way to fix this, to save reality itself." She turns to Jack, her eyes brimming with tears. "You have to go back to the moment before we lost you." Jack's face pales. "You mean?" Future Sarah nods solemnly. "You have to let the accident happen. It's the only way to close the loop." "No," Sarah cries out, grabbing Jack's arm. "There has to be another way. We can't lose him again." Lily, who has been silent until now, suddenly speaks up. "Mommy, she's right. I can feel it. The radio showed me." Sarah looks at her daughter in shock. "Lily, what do you mean?" "I'm connected to it all somehow," Lily says, her young voice carrying an impossible weight. "To the past, the present, the future. The radio, it's a part of me, of us, and it's showing me what needs to be done." The realization hits Sarah like a thunderbolt. Lily's mysterious illness, her connection to the radio, it all makes sense now. Her daughter is a living paradox, a child born of a timeline that no longer exists. Jack kneels down, taking Lily's hands in his. I wish I had the chance to know you, to be your father," he says, his voice choked with emotion. "You will," Lily says softly, "just not in this time." The fractures in the sky are spreading, reality itself seeming to unravel around them. Future Sarah steps forward, holding out her hand. In it is a small device, pulsing with an otherworldly energy. "This will take you back, Jack," she explains, "to the moment we lost you. You have to let it happen, for all of us." Jack stands, his eyes meeting Sarah's. In that moment, a lifetime of unspoken love passes between them. "I don't want to go," he whispers. Sarah fights back tears. "I don't want you to go either. But if this is what it takes to save everything, to give Lily a chance at life." "I'll do it," Jack says firmly. He turns to Future Sarah. Will I remember any of this?" She shakes her head. "No, but somewhere, deep down, a part of you will always know, and you'll be watching over us, always." Jack takes the device, his hand shaking. He looks at Sarah one last time, memorizing every detail of her face. "I love you," he says simply. "Both of you. All of you." With that, he presses the button. There's a blinding flash of light and Jack vanishes. The park erupts into chaos. The ground heaves and buckles, trees blink in and out of existence, and the fractured sky begins to rain shards of broken reality. "What now?" Sarah shouts over the cacophony. Future Sarah grabs her hand. "Now we run." The paradox is resolving itself. This timeline, the one where I interfered, it's collapsing. We need to get back to the focal point. "The apartment," Lily cries out. "The radio." They race through the disintegrating city, reality warping around them with each step. Buildings crumble and reform, streets twist into impossible shapes, and ghostly echoes of other timelines flicker in and out of view. They burst into the apartment just as the walls begin to dissolve. The old radio sits on the kitchen table, glowing with an unearthly light. "Quickly," Future Sarah yells, "both of you, touch the radio. It's our anchor to the true timeline." Sarah hesitates for a split second, looking at her future self. "What about you?" Future Sarah smiles sadly. "I'm not supposed to exist anymore. This is where my journey ends." "No," Sarah reaches for her, but it's too late. Future Sarah is already fading, becoming translucent. Remember, Future Sarah's voice echoes as she disappears. "The future isn't set. Make it a good one." With her gone, the apartment begins to collapse in earnest. Sarah grabs Lily and lunges for the radio. The moment their hands touch its smooth surface, the world explodes into blinding white light. Sarah's ears ring with a deafening silence. She feels as if she's falling and flying at the same time, tumbling through an endless void of possibility. Fragments of other lives, other choices, other futures flash before her eyes. And then suddenly, stillness. Sarah opens her eyes to find herself back in her old, run-down apartment. Sunlight streams through the threadbare curtains. For a moment, she wonders if it was all a dream. But then she sees the old radio on the nightstand, silent and ordinary-looking, and she remembers everything. Lily stirs in the small bed across the room. "Mommy?" she calls out sleepily. "I had the strangest dream." Sarah goes to her daughter, gathering her in a tight embrace. "It's okay, sweetheart," she whispers, tears streaming down her face. "Everything's going to be okay." As she holds Lily, Sarah's gaze falls on a framed photo she doesn't remember owning. It shows her, years younger, smiling beside a man whose face she knows all too well. Jack, and she understands. The paradox is resolved. The timeline is healed. But the memories, the love, the lessons learned, they remain. A gift and a burden, a reminder of what was and what could be. Sarah takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of infinite possibilities on her shoulders. The future isn't set, she reminds herself. And armed with the wisdom of a lifetime that never was, she's ready to face whatever comes next. The old radio sits silent, a sentinel guarding the secrets of time itself. And somewhere, in the grand tapestry of existence, Sarah knows that Jack is watching over them. Always. As the sun rises on a new day, Sarah stands by the window, watching the city come to life. The events of the past few weeks, or was it a lifetime, weigh heavily on her mind. She turns to look at Lily, still sleeping peacefully, blissfully unaware of the cosmic drama that has unfolded around her. Sarah's gaze falls on the old radio, now silent and innocuous on the nightstand. She approaches it cautiously, her fingers hovering over its smooth surface. For a moment, she considers turning it on, seeking guidance or reassurance from her future self. But she stops herself, remembering the hard-won wisdom of her incredible journey. "No more shortcuts," she whispers to herself. "No more trying to cheat fate." Instead, she picks up the photo of herself and Jack. Tears well up in her eyes as she traces his face with her finger. The memories of their time together, both in this timeline and the one that never was, flood her senses. The love, the laughter, the simple joy of being a family, it all feels so real. "I won't forget you," she promises softly. "And I'll make sure Lily knows how much her father loved her, even if he couldn't be here." As if on cue, Lily stirs and sits up in bed, rubbing her eyes. "Mommy? Why are you crying?" Sarah quickly wipes her tears and sits on the edge of Lily's bed. "I'm just thinking about how much I love you, sweetie, and about all the amazing things we're going to do together." Lily's face lights up. "Really? Like what?" Sarah smiles, her mind racing with possibilities. "Well, for starters, how about we go to the park today? And maybe we can stop by that new ice cream shop on the way home." "Yes!" Lily exclaims, bouncing with excitement. As they get ready for their day, Sarah feels a newfound sense of purpose coursing through her veins. She may not have the advantage of future knowledge anymore, but she has something far more valuable: perspective. She understands now that every choice, every moment, carries weight. The future isn't some far-off destination to be manipulated. It's built in the here and now, one decision at a time. As they leave the apartment, Sarah takes one last look at the old radio. She considers leaving it behind, a relic of a chapter now closed, but something stops her. Instead, she unplugs it and carefully places it in a box, which she tucks away in the closet. Just in case, she murmurs. Not as a crutch or an escape, but as a reminder of the incredible journey she's been on and the lessons she's learned. Walking hand in hand with Lily down the bustling city street, Sarah feels a sense of lightness she hasn't experienced in years. The world around her seems brighter somehow, full of untapped potential. They reach the park, the very same park where it all began and ended. Sarah pauses for a moment, taking in the scene. Families laughing, children playing, couples strolling hand in hand. The simple beauty of everyday life unfolds before her. "Mommy, can we feed the ducks?" Lily asks, pointing to the pond. Sarah nods, her heart swelling with love. "Of course, sweetheart, let's go." As they stand by the water's edge, tossing breadcrumbs to the eager ducks, Sarah realizes something profound. The steep price of changing her destiny wasn't just about the cosmic consequences or the paradoxes created. It was about the realization that true happiness and fulfillment can't be shortcuts or cheated into existence. They must be earned, day by day, choice by choice. She may have lost Jack twice, but she gained an appreciation for the preciousness of every moment. She learned that love transcends time and that the bonds we forge with others are the true miracles of existence. As the afternoon sun warms her face, Sarah makes a silent vow. She will live each day to its fullest, cherishing the time she has with Lily. She'll work hard, love deeply, and face whatever challenges come her way with courage and determination. Not because some future version of herself told her to, but because she chooses to. The old radio may be silent now, but its echoes resonate through every fiber of Sarah's being. She carries with her the wisdom of multiple lifetimes, the love of a man she both knew and never met, and the unbreakable bond with a daughter who is, in every sense, a miracle. As they leave the park, ice cream cones in hand, Sarah feels a sense of excitement for what the future holds. Not because she knows what's coming, but precisely because she doesn't. Every day is a new adventure, every choice a step into the unknown. And isn't that, after all, the greatest gift of all? Dear viewer, as our tale of Echoes of Tomorrow comes to a close, we hope you've enjoyed this journey through time, love, and the power of choice. If Sarah's story has touched your heart or made you ponder the paths not taken in your own life, we invite you to share this video with others who might find meaning in it. By spreading this story, you're not just sharing entertainment, you're passing on a message about the preciousness of every moment and the importance of cherishing those we love. Who knows? Your simple act of sharing might be the catalyst that changes someone else's perspective on life. And if you'd like to experience more stories that challenge your imagination and touch your soul, please subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you'll ensure that you never miss out on our latest offerings, each crafted to inspire, entertain, and provoke thought. Remember, just as Sarah learned, the future isn't set in stone. It's shaped by the choices we make every day. Your decision to engage with and share content that moves you is a small but significant step in creating a world filled with more empathy, understanding, and wonder. So, dear viewer, will you join us on this journey? Will you help us spread stories that matter? The choice, as always, is yours, and in that choice lies the power to echo through tomorrow.